Hi, Becky Witzman here to take you through the week that was on HRTV. With all the Derby preps nearly over, Darren Rogers looks at those who need help to get in the field.
And you're well aware of the horses that are defecting this week, and there's a few horses on the bubble like Backtalk, Jackson Bend, Setsuko. Which of those horses that are on the outside looking in are the most interesting to you a couple of weeks from now?
Well, unquestionably, your father's horse, Setsuko. I mean, I would love to see him get a chance to run in this year's Kentucky Derby, especially going back to what we were saying about the pace scenario. I mean, it's going to be a hot pace, and a horse like Setsuko is one of those that's coming around and I think could make an impact in the exotics. You know, I spoke with Ken McPeak yesterday. He is training. First of all, he said that the cuts and scrapes that Noble's Promise suffered in the Arkansas Derby, he's over that. That's just a minor problem. They're still monitoring the lung infection. He's currently at Ken's farm in Lexington and Magdalena, but he's supposed to ship up here on Thursday morning and then gallop after the break. And they're going to train him, you know, if he responds, as if he's going into the Kentucky Derby. So we'll have to see whether or not Noble's Promise defects. There was some scuttlebutt also, Gary and Carolyn, about Beethoven, the European charge who ran in last year's Breeders' Cup. You know, he's got enough earnings, $342,000. But we did receive word from Aidan O'Brien's camp at Ballydoyle today that they are definitely going to remain overseas in Europe. You know, Interactive, I think, is probably going to drop out, just reading between the lines with Todd Pletcher's verbiage. And if that's the case, we could have two more spots opening. If Noble's Promise and Interactive don't go, that could possibly put in Backtalk, if they even choose to run, or Make Music for Me. And then it comes down to a shake, basically, between A Little Warm and Setsuko. You know, they're both tied with $180,000. Boy, I'd hate to see that pill pool on Derby morning.
Elliot Walden sums up WinStar's Derby contenders on Pursuit of the Crown.
We're going to start with Super Saver, who showed he could actually track in the Arkansas Derby. How much of an advantage is that going into a Kentucky Derby where there's going to be so much speed?
Well, you know, it does look like there's a lot of pace in this race, and you know, I think it's very important. It was a great tactical. To be in C so tactical was very good, and we were pleased with that. So we were very happy that he was laying second and that he did it kindly, finished strongly, got a little tired the last part, only being his second start of the year, and we feel like he'll improve. Moving along to Rule, Elliott, how do you think he'll respond to the 6 weeks layoff since his last start in the Florida Derby? You know, I'm not concerned about that. Like I said all along, you know, I've had that question a lot. Todd is a great trainer, and I feel like that he'll have him ready, and I'm not concerned about the 6 weeks. Now, do I think he'll like the 6 weeks? I do think that the timing of that is good. He had a hard race in the Florida Derby. It was the first time that he'd gotten beat in 5 starts, and so, you know, for him to really lay it on the line like he did, it's great that he has some time to come back from.
Elliott, American Line is by Tiz now, and I know that you've got quite a few horses, of course, because he stands at WinStar. And the book on Tiz now is that they tend to take a little time to get the message. It looked like American Line finally got it in the Illinois Derby. He was very impressive. Well, you know, he's been impressive really everywhere but Santa Anita, Lafitte. And you know, I think hopefully we've got him on dirt, and you know, how many emails I get help from people across the country telling me to run him on the dirt. So we had to share those with Owen, and he acquiesced, and he ran great. So it was good. And finally, Elliott, Endorsement, becoming somewhat of a buzz horse, and he does have the right style, getting back to the complexion of this Derby, having so much speed in that he does close well. You know, he does, and Robbie said, you know, right after the race that he had an awful lot of horse at the wire, and that horse is really going the right way. We're as excited about him as the other three, and we just feel awfully blessed to
have the opportunity that we have with 4 horses, it's pretty amazing. We've got a great team here at WinStar that has helped put it all together, and you know, we don't come in with one of the favorites, but I think we have a pretty good hand with all 4 of them. They're very solid.
Shauna Shelton gave us a closer look at Florida Derby winner Icebox in this week's HRTV Diary.
Hey guys, I'm here at Palmettos again, and today we're in front of Nick Zito's barn, home of the Florida Derby winner Icebox. What kind of horse is he in the barn?
He's fairly easy to deal with. I mean, he has his moments where he gets a little bit excited, but I cuddle with him all the time. So,
you do?
Yeah, he puts up with that.
Aww.
He's actually a really feel-good horse. Likes to play coming out of the track.
Oh really?
Yeah,
coming home, he jumps around and everything?
He jumps around, yeah. He likes to stand out a lot, looking at the other horses gallop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Good morning. It's just a beautiful day of training here at Palmettos. And here's Icebox coming towards us now. Oh, he is a little playful. So excited today. He's a playful boy. Dennis, how was it?
Pretty good.
He looked a little happy out there.
He does.
Hi. Are you watching me? Are you watching me? Hi, bud.
You look at his chart, it wasn't that good in the first couple of races. And he just, the big baby needed time to grow.
Sure.
They just let him do his own thing. You know, you could say he's training himself.
Todd Pletcher talks about his Derby contenders, starting with the probable morning line favorite, Escondrea.
I thought he had a very good work this morning. It was kind of typical of what we normally see from him. We weren't looking for anything flashy, just a nice, steady maintenance work. He went 5/8 and 102. I had him finishing up in 24-3 with a good gallop out, and you know that's kind of what we were hoping to do this week. We'll ship to Kentucky on Tuesday and look for a similar breeze, you know, at Churchill, not a whole lot more.
Would that work be on Saturday or Sunday at Churchill?
Most likely on Saturday. You know, we have a little bit of a leeway there if we need an extra day after settling in, but right now I'd say most likely on Saturday.
For the other contenders, Rule worked in company with Mission Impassable. Your thoughts on that duo?
Well, I thought it was a good work for both. Rule was not quite as sharp as Mission Impassable this morning. That's not totally out of character for him. That was a very good work for Mission Impassable. I mean, I think of our group of horses throughout the winter that have kind of kept creeping forward and moving forward and doing a little bit better every week. Mission Impassable certainly fits that bill.
And the last of the Derby workers at Palmettos was Discreetly Mine. He looked very good.
He's a very good horse in the morning. You know, I think we maybe overdid it a little bit. He's such a good workhorse. I think we overdid it a little bit before the Louisiana Derby, and hopefully that's something we can do better with before the Kentucky Derby. But he's in good form and training well.
Todd, it's not an unfamiliar position for you to go to Louisville with a full lineup with a lot of horses to saddle, but this is a pretty rare position for any trainer to have so many good horses sitting on the biggest race of their life. What are your thoughts? What are your feelings in that position right now? And are you already thinking through how you're going to handle the saddling in the paddock?
Not really. I mean, you know, we had 5 once, and I don't see us having more than 5 this time, so we know we can do that. The thing that's different for me this time is, you know, we've gotten there in the past with horses that we thought a lot of, that were training well and had run well leading up to it. This is the first time that I felt like we have a horse that's really designed to go the 1.25 miles, and Escondrea is a horse that, you know, just everything about him indicates that he's going to go the 1.25 miles and beyond. So, you know, that's very exciting for us.
Pletcher's 3-year-olds continued to look impressive this spring as Exie took the Coolmore Lexington Stakes.
Exie coming to the 8th pole. Is the leader by 2 to Krypton, Bushwhacked, and Kettle River. Distorted Dave toward the inside. Chief Counsel and Uptown Charlie Brown. Final furlong. Bushwhacked trying to reel in Exie. Exie trying to steal it on the front end. And Exie coming to the line. Uptown Charlie Brown runs on late. But Exie will pull the upset for Robbie Alvarado in the Coolmore Lexington.
Just another 3-year-old in the Pletcher barn that it has no Derby aspirations, I would assume now, but what a race he ran.
You know, obviously no Derby aspirations. but there's plenty of other good races around the country this spring and over the summer. I thought the horse was fantastic today. Anytime you can get a little horse with like him, that's got an amazing cruising speed, go 11 and change. We were kind of licking our chops, coming down the lane.
It was a good effort. Is it just a poly track? Can he handle the dirt? Turf? I know he's running turf.
He trains well at Churchill. I guess you don't know till he gets a couple of decent works under his belt, and who knows? We'll enjoy this today and see wherever he pops up.
Joe Talamo has another shot at the Roses this year with Sydney's Candy after a disappointing Derby Day scratch last year.
Joe, a little under a year has passed since you were supposed to ride the morning line favorite in the Kentucky Derby and I Want Revenge. How many times have you thought to yourself since then what might have been in that race?
Well, a lot of times you think back on. To be honest, I try not to let myself think about it, because it's easy to look back and say you could have won, but we'll never know, But I think he'd have been very tough that day.
What was your initial reaction when you found out that you weren't going to get the opportunity to run in the Kentucky Derby?
To be honest, just shocked. To this day, I'm still. It's still a blur. It's just something that big and like that. It's hard to really sink in. And today, it never really did sink in. And, again, he was training up so good to that race, and we were so confident that he was going to run big. And, after that race, I just kept thinking, like, man, that was it. That was my one chance, And, just to come back this last year, it's just unbelievable.
Watching the Kentucky Derby as a spectator, it draws emotion from us. How do you think your emotions will be when they play Old Kentucky home and everything that goes along with so many eyes on you?
I guess we'll see. I think I'll be okay. I still get, when they walk out onto the track, I still get goosebumps. I'm sure I will when I'm on the horse.
Sydney's Candy, of course, he's done nothing wrong in his last 3 races. Have you felt a better horse each and every time that you've ridden him here in Southern California?
Oh, without a doubt. Just from the time I've broken his maiden to present day, it's just incredible, And he worked this morning. I think he went the last quarter in 22 and 4. So that's really incredible. Not only for a 3-year-old to do that, for any horse to do that. So he's really progressing at an incredible rate. And so to say, you want him to peak at the right time, and I think he's doing just that.
Well, best of luck, and I'll tell you what, you've progressed at a pretty incredible rate. Joe Talamo didn't get to ride the Kentucky Derby last year, but he's going to draw off the experiences that he had leading up to a race that he was expected to perhaps win.
Gary and Jill are already on site at Churchill Downs in preparation for the 136th Kentucky Derby.
Well, Gary, we're inside now, and what I've noticed the most is it seems there are a lot more horses here earlier than usual.
There are more horses here than I've seen at this time, 14 days out, and a lot of activity here, some serious workouts this morning as well.
Well, this morning it was a very serious workout for Sydney's Candy.
I loved what I saw. It was a rather serious workout. What I liked most about his workout is he had a workmate in front of him, and he settled off of that horse and came home in under 23 seconds.
Gave me some goosebumps this morning. I had Baffert up there with me at the finish line, and I can tell when he's interested. And that work was phenomenal. He broke 2 lengths behind the workmate. I had the walkie-talkie on Lupio, and I told him at the 8th pole, I said, let's go. And the horse lowered his head and opened up 4 lengths and went 59 and 4, galloped out in 12 and 4. It was pretty nice.
So Gary, also you were able to see Conveyance and Looking at Lucky go. That was the other day. They worked over the track, and it looks like these two, they've already proven they can handle the dirt course. What did you think of them over the Churchill track?
Well, it looked like Looking at Lucky, he was a little bit lost out here the other morning. He went off a little bit slow. Bob said he wanted an easy work in him, which is what he got. He was blowing pretty heavy when he came by me. Conveyance, I loved his work. He was getting over the track well, and he's by Indian Charlie. I know him pretty well too, and he got over Churchill Downs pretty well, as like this horse did.
But Icebox was out for a workout here the other day as well. This horse will be coming from far off the pace, and he kind of trains that way.
Yeah, he does, and I'll be honest with you, I was pleasantly surprised when I saw him. I hadn't given him a whole lot of thought for the Derby picture, to be honest with you, and after seeing him, he's carrying good weight. He was full of life out here before he worked, and makes a good appearance.
Icebox was a different work. And he went even all the way, 48 and change this morning. And again, very pleased with both horses. And I have a theory: when they run a mile and 1/8, and that's not too long ago, you just basically got to keep them strong and happy. So that's what we're trying to do.
All right, Gary, then we have Todd Pletcher here, but only with one of his Kentucky Derby horses, and that's Super Saver, who just happens to have something not too many of the others have, or any of the others have, and that's a win over the Churchill Downs track.
He's got a win over the Churchill Downs track. He galloped this morning, a nice strong gallop. Makes a good appearance, carrying a lot of weight, and didn't run a bad race in the Arkansas Derby.
And then they just keep coming out more and more. We were able to see Patio Prado for Dale Romans. This horse really interests me. I know we've never seen him on traditional dirt. I love his pedigree. I thought he looked great quickly just galloping over the track today.
I've watched him 3 days in a row, and to be honest with you, he looks like he's getting over the track better than any of the Derby contenders. I mean, looks like he's been raised on this dirt racetrack, and El Prado, he can get a dirt horse.
And then Noble's Promise. That's been the question mark, whether he's going to go or not. Got to see him gallop this morning, and you saw him the other day as well. He looks like he's very athletic. He doesn't look like he's showing any effects from the cuts and bruises that he sustained in Arkansas.
No, I saw him 2 days ago. He looked good. Missed him yesterday, but this morning I noticed him out here, and Walter Blum Jr. galloping him out on the outside of the racetrack, and the reason for that, he looks like he's wanting to get tough, and he's kind of cheating him around there so he doesn't go too fast, but he looks good.
So a lot of activity taking place right now at Churchill Downs, and we're inside now 2 weeks to Kentucky Derby 136. A lot of activity will take place next week as well.
Jerry Hollendorfer stopped by Race Day America to talk about his remarkable filly Tuscan Evening in the Santa Barbara.
You know, we wanted to ask her the question, can she do the 1.25 miles? And off of her last race, we feel like she can, so we're going to see if she can do that today. You know, we didn't see her as a very long route horse in the beginning, so we just, when we got stretched out to 1.125 miles, I wanted to go 1.25 miles, and Will agreed to try that, and we both agreed that if she can do the 1.25 miles, then that would open up a lot of options for different things to do.
Like what?
Well, there's a 1.25 mile race at Delaware for $750,000. That's I believe in August. That's on dirt, but you know it would open up that option, and other route races.
Rafael Bejarano has not moved on Tuscan Evening. They're still going well. In the second spot is Restless Soul. Along the inside, General Consensus at Claire de Lune. The other three line up to take a shot at Tuscan Evening, but Rafael Bejarano shakes the reins at her now. General Consensus is going to come to chase her home. It's Tuscan Evening, though, just striding home. She's exuding class again today. Tuscan Evening never took a deep breath, won it easily.
Tuscan Evening, her 4th graded stakes win on the meet, from 6.5 furlongs to now 1.25 miles. And Jerry, it's come to the point where we almost expect it. But does it surprise you each and every time how she gets the longer distance but still comes away with such easy wins?
Well, it doesn't surprise me, but it is surprising that our horse could do that. So she's fortunate, and we're fortunate, and she stayed sound and kept her form, and that's all you can ask for.
Jerry, there wasn't much of this race. She got to the lead. She settled down easily for Rafael, and he fits her so well. She's had a lot of races over the past, few months. I know you take it race at a time, but will you go on with her across town, or maybe a break in the future?
We'll take a hard look at the game league. I think that's the one we'll look at next, and then after that we'll talk about it.
Well, Jerry, congratulations. Quite the feat. 6.5 to 1.25 miles. How's that sound?
Sounds good. Very fortunate. Feel very fortunate.
4 graded stakes wins for Tuscan Evening, making a strong case for horse of the meet here at Santa Anita.
On Against the Odds, Aaron picked a winner in this week's Claiborne Stakes Showcase, the Distaff Handicap at Aqueduct.
Tar Heel Mom, she absolutely loves Aqueduct's main track, and this is kind of a homecoming for her. A good pace scenario, couple of great runner-up efforts in South Florida, but this is where she belongs, where she loves it. Tar Heel Mom looks like a logical horse in this race, but I'm not telling you anything the tote board's not telling you. 2-1 on the morning line. And note, it's Ramon in New York, not Alan Garcia.
Tar Heel Mom about to be confronted by Hourglass as the field turns for home. Matt Glisser into third, Just Whistle Dixie. Top of the stretch now, and Tar Heel Mama is fully extended, holds on to the lead. Ramon Dominguez really working on her. She's responding, holds on by 2. Hourglass still chasing her at the 16th pole, followed by Matchless Arinda and Just Whistle Dixie. Tar Heel Mom took them all the way on the lead.
Eric Zimney joined Race Day America to talk about the $1 million Charlestown Classic.
With the amount of money you've put up for the purse, you're obviously trying to establish this as one of the main stops for the handicap division. When you look at racing on the complete front all around the country, how much does it mean to you to have the Phippses send in a horse like Gone Astray for this event?
Yeah, that's something that last year I think it surprised a few people when we were able to land commentator and getting a trainer like Nick and Mr. Farmer to send the horse here. That helped legitimize the race, and this year to get again, like you said, the Phipps, Shug sending this horse here. I mean, that's a big legitimizer for the race. I mean, there's silks that people can identify with. Silks we're not used to having here at Charlestown.
Yeah.
But no, it's going to be a thrill, and these are the kind of horses our fans, they'll come out in droves to see.
Trainer Jeff Runco's researcher looked to make it back-to-back wins in the Charlestown Classic.
How's the big horse doing?
He's doing great. He's going into the race about as well as I can hope for. He's doing great. Had a super race 2 weeks ago in the prep, and came out of it good, and had a nice workout on Saturday. He's ready to go. He's doing fine, so I expect him to run well.
Jeff, last year in the prep, he won by 22 lengths, and then, of course, won the Classic. He only won by 6, so I guess he was kind of taking it easy in that prep on March 27th.
Yeah, he won he still won pretty much in hand. He still got a big number. He got 106 buyer out of it. So the buyer stacked up to his one the year before. But there was a pretty nice horse in there the other day that was Russell Road. But yeah, he ran good in the prep this year. So he's coming into it about as well as I could expect to.
He's won 2 races at Charlestown by 14 lengths. 2 separate races by 14 lengths. And another race by 22 1/4. What is it about Charlestown that researcher seems to love so much about?
I'm asked that a lot. I'm really not sure what he likes about it, but he definitely does like the track. He trained on it all his life. He runs good at other tracks too, but I mean, he really puts it together here for some reason. He gets around the turns fine with it, and he's a big horse and handles those just fine. And I'm not exactly sure what it is. Maybe just being, that he trains here a lot, but he definitely has some good numbers here at Charlestown.
Top of the stretch, Researcher and Luis Perez strike the lead down on the inside, battling back. Redding Collieri down the center. Awesome Gem trying to get to him, but it's Researcher looking for the repeat. Yes, Researcher gets the victory 2 years in a row. The $1 million Charlestown Classic.
Remington Park showcased its feature night of racing, culminating with the Remington Park Futurity.
Chicks Lacerda came away sharply. So did the Elegant Catch and Got Country Grip breaking third from the outside. Here comes Moon Bully running huge just inside of Make No Shadows. Now Chicks Lacerda and Got Country Grip hooping up to the outside. Moon Bully strikes the lead. It's Moon Bully on the front. Moon Bully trying to pull an upset, and Moon Bully has done it in the Mr. Louis. They're off in the Remington Park Derby. Crystal Sola came away sharply in the middle, out like a shot, but drifting in. Diamond for Jess drifting all the way over, almost meaning Rush to go down by the rail. Louisiana Blue Dream splashing up the rail, running well. It is out in front. Crystal Sola trying to move up, trying to catch Diamond for Jess. Diamond for Jess running tough. Crystal Sola outside. Diamond for Jess gets the upset. They're off on the Remington Park Futurity. Corona's Fast Prize away slowly. Out like a shot. Lano Teller grabs the early lead in the first 100. There by length. American Runaway pressuring Lano Teller on the inside. Trying to come on now. In the middle as PYC takes all. It's Lano Teller, American Runaway. These two noses to the line. Lano Teller inside. American Runaway outside. Photo finish.
That's all for this week on HRTV. Here's a look at what's coming up next week.